Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And today we're talking about the stock market isn't the economy, ladies and gentlemen. Surely you know that. And now, of course, this is how we are going to create the wealth. We're going to talk about it for you to save yourself out here. And welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Stop struggling now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. If you missed the Primavera 4 live stream, which just ended, that's why I'm a little bit late. We had on realtors. They answered the questions. And by the way, Primavera 4, I could not believe it. 10% down, 20% during construction. December 2025 completion date. This is part of the economy. This is part of how you create wealth when you can buy with no credit check, no qualifying, no barriers to entry, and you can get in at a price such as $100 per square foot. And just less than a half a mile over, they're charging people $180 to $200 a square foot to live inside Vistacana. And if that's not even bad, what's worse is in 2020, their Type C units were selling for $100,000 in Primavera 2. In Primavera 4, those units are now selling for $178,000. Do you not think those people in Primavera 1 or Primavera 2 is loving life, knowing that they have equity of this sort in an area that's not even really built yet? Imagine over the next 2-3 years when Larimar, Cruise on Land, Vistacana, and everybody else keeps building more and more, prices are going to escalate. This is why it's a good time for you to get in. That's part of the real economy. The stock market, you do realize the top 10% of the wealthiest own 89% of the stock market. That's why they have to make sure the stock market actually stays at certain levels, because they can't have their buddies losing money, right? Let's see who's in the house tonight. Auntie Val is here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. She has the icon next to her name. She's also known as Professor in these parts. And she brings her tagline, "Good evening, fam." She's got the notification and trailer. She brings the heart. She brings the strength. She brings the support. So I thank you once again, Professor Auntie Val, for being in the house. Laverne Penix is here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he too has the icon next to his name. And he says, "Hello, SSN Nation. I hope everyone is doing well. I received a notification and trailer and I watched the live stream. Thank you so much for letting me know." That's 2 people that has received the notification and saw the trailer. Much appreciated. Very happy. So you're getting to see what's going on over there, Laverne Penix, also known as Mr. Cool in this YouTube street. And Mr. Cool and Mrs. Cool, they also own inside Vistacana, my number 2 project in all of Punta Cana area at the Wave, right besides this newly revamped sports complex. How awesome is that, ladies and gentlemen? All right. So I want to welcome everybody. And Victor Marrero is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. He too has the icon next to his name. He says, hello, all. Let's do this is his tagline this evening. And let's do it. We shall. And thank you so much again. Very nice to see you, Victor Marrero, who is also on the other live stream. So thank you so much for following up and staying with us tonight, because it's already been like a 2 hour, 1.5 hours, but we keep the show on the road. All right. Also got the YouTube notification and trailer. That's 3 people. This is great news right here. This is awesome news, because again, tonight we're talking about the stock market is the economy. And once you people, and I shouldn't say like you people, but citizens of the world, when your government keeps talking about the stock market, just keep in mind, your mind should start thinking, why do they care about that so much? When I go to the grocery store, I have to pay all this extra money. Why do they care about that so much? When I go get gas in my car, it costs more than it did 3 years ago. When I'm sitting here going, when I have to go and pay electricity or cable bills or phone bills, why am I paying more money? And you guys are out here talking about stock market? Please. The stock market is nothing more than a way for the rich and the wealthy to get your money and then turn around and have stocks that you don't own, or shall I say, stocks that they own that they didn't have to pay for because they have stock options that if it reaches a certain price, then they get more free stocks. Come on. Again, you don't have that luxury. You have to use your hard-earned money to buy stocks. And not only that, you don't get to manipulate anything. Sure, you can go to the board meeting. Sure, you can place your votes. But generally, the big boys own the bulk of the shares, so they get the bulk of the voting stocks. So again, it's a rigged system. So top 10% owns 89% of the stock market. So when they're touting that the economy is good, there's 2 things going on. Stock market is not the economy. Here is the economy. Inflation rate over 10% annually. Inflation rate 15% the last 3 years on average. That is the real economy. And we've added in the fuel, rent, home cost. We've added those in. That's why the numbers are really double digits, 15% average over the last 3 years. 15% annually is how much you have to offset. So think about it. Think about it, please. You make $100,000 a year. Your $100,000 in 2022, or shall I say 2021, could buy $100,000 worth of stuff. But in 2022, your $100,000 can only buy $85,000 worth of stuff. And heaven forbid, 2023, your $100,000 take off another 15%. So now you're down to around $70,000 is your buying power. You have to replace that $30,000. So what happens as a consumer? Well, you get to pay. It cost you $130,000. That's what happens. Now it's going to cost you $130,000 to buy the same things you bought. You think you're going to be able to keep up? Hell no, you're not going to be able to keep up. Let's get real out here. All right? Let's get real. I'm going to show you something right now. Little family, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And very nice to see you once again. Hello, I'm back. Pretty good crowd last session. Exactly, little family. We were having it in the house. There was a lot of people interested in those villas. They were very sweet, I have to admit. But now we're into the other situation, the real economy, not the stock market, because that's not the economy. Here's the economy. Here's what's happening to people right now. I'm about to bring this up on the screen because this is why we have to make sure that we get some assets. Then we have to make sure that we are able to receive passive income. And so here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. Just came out on CNBC today. Look on the bottom left corner. Do you not see this? Consumer debt passes 17 trillion for the first time despite slide in mortgage demand. 17 trillion, in case anybody isn't paying attention. Do you know the United States deficit on record is around $34 trillion. That's what they admit to. That's not even true either. But can you imagine consumer debt being half of the United States deficit? The real economy is down here on the left. People don't make enough money. And when you have a 15% year over year inflation rate, just what I told you about earlier, what do you think people are using to pay their bills? Debt. They're going to their credit cards. A person in America generally has $6,500 on average in credit card limits. You start thinking 100 million people, you start realizing, oh my goodness, now I see where $17 trillion in deficit comes from. Those are IOUs. If people default, that's $17 trillion that goes down the tubes. That is not the stock market, because if it was, that would be very bad. But this right here is very bad because people are living paycheck to paycheck. We've talked about this a month ago. 70% of the Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, regardless if they're making six figures or not. Why is it regardless? Because I'll put it to you plain and simple. If you want to buy a $500,000 home, guess what? You're going to have to make like $120,000 to $130,000. That's what you're going to have to make. And then when you realize less than 10% of the population makes over $130,000, now all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, how are people going to pay when prices went up 20, 30%? They're not. They're going to borrow. And that's why you're going to have all-time records. And when the Federal Reserve increased the interest rate another 0.25, that also increased the deficit for consumer debt. When they do another 0.25, which will be iffy, then it'll do the same thing. They will surpass and beat the record as well. That's how this is all going down. And so when they're looking around and people are talking about the stock market, do not look at that. That has nothing to do with you. All right? Zero to do with you. Those are corporations. Their shareholders are the ones that they cater to. They have to answer to their shareholders. Why is our stock going down? What's happening with the profits? That's all they care about. What are they going to do? They're going to squeeze the profits, which means you as a consumer are going to get squeezed because all they're doing is trying to create more profit. Imagine this. I'm going to give you guys a story. But first, we have Curtis Davis in the house. Mr. Financial is here, and he says, good evening, SSN fam. Good evening to you. He has the icon next to his name, and he brings his tagline with ABMM, always be making money. That's it exactly. Always be making money. Just make it. Always be making money. Always be making money, right? Let that sink in your head because guess what, baby boomers? Guess what, Gen Z, Gen X? Guess what? You guys don't get to retire. You're always going to have to make more money. Again, we have seen this playing out. People in Florida who retired 10, 15 years ago, they're thinking, oh, everything's lovely. My property tax is only $2,000 annually. My insurance is $800 annually. Everything is lovely until it's not. Until my property tax is what? It's $7,000 now annually. My insurance is, wait, I can't get insurance? No, not unless you fix your roof. Wait, I can't fix my roof for 10 grand. They want 30 grand. And I got to wait 7 months. So what about my insurance during this time? Well, your issue. All of this came into play recently that before everything was rosy. This is what happens, ladies and gentlemen, when you get complacent and not understand the ecosystem. We all did not realize that inflation was going to occur like it has, but just think of it this way. Now you understand what's going to happen in the future as well. So just because you retire, you're going to have extra streams of revenue coming in. There's no way that you can just think everything's going to be fine. All right. Just keep that in your minds. ABMM, passive income in 2023. That is it exactly. Victor Morel says, I was reading an article about household debt and credit of 17. It's unbelievable. And guess what? It increased by 148 billion just first quarter of 2023. Exactly. Exactly. And is that insane? Ladies and gentlemen, I will say again, this is by design. Whenever the federal funds rate increased their 0.25, your credit card and your other debts are being increased 0.25. So when we're talking about 175 trillion or $17 trillion, just think about 0.025. You're thinking, okay, 0.025, it's not that much. But everybody's credit card got increased. And remember, credit card's 1 trillion by itself. All right. So right then and there, you have billions of dollars overnight that the consumers owe more of. Has nothing to do with Wall Street. All right. George's Charles is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he has the icon next to his name as well. He says, hi, money people. He's in the right house. Hello to you too, a money person. And George's Charles says, wealth creation. I love it. Exactly. That's what we have to do here. There's no way around it. Get on the hot seat. Demand of yourself that you want to get passive income, extra wealth somehow. Because if you're going to be left behind, it's okay if you rent. That's not the question. The question is, do you have extra streams of revenue or a way to create extra streams of revenue? There is no way around it. You're going to have to create wealth. I know. There's some of you out here going, Eric, I can't do it. Well, it simply does start. If you can't beat them, then join them. The stock market's not the economy, but the stock market can give you 10, 12, 15, 20% return on your money. That's what it's about. Passive income coming back. Do you really care if it's the stock market? Do you even care if somebody gave you a car and they said, hey, this car is going to give you back $5,000 a year? You might have to consider when they say, hey, you can buy this for $1,000 and it's going to give you $5,000, or we're going to have to buy this for $10,000, but it'll give you $5,000 return on your money every year. Those are the type of things you're going to have to start thinking about in the future, ladies and gentlemen. It's nearly almost too late. And I'm telling you, and I'm going to keep saying it for another 4 or 5 months until they reduce the interest rate, the Federal Reserve, that is. When the Federal Reserves reduce their interest rate, you are going to see a stock market that's going to pop. You're going to see a real estate market that's going to pop. You're going to see buying starting to happen. And after a year of them reducing the interest rate, getting it in range of like a 4%, 3.75%, that's when all hell's going to break loose. And why is all hell going to break loose? The individual person can now get cheap lending money. But more importantly, the top 10% of the wealthiest, who own 70% of the wealth in the world, they can get cheap money too. Except they can get more of the cheap money because they have assets that they can borrow against. So now they're buying up everything in sight, which now means all prices for all assets are going to go up. Are you going to be holding an asset? I suggest you get started if you don't already have a plan. Some of you already have a house, except one thing, you live in it. Just like people in Tennessee, just like people in Texas, just like people in Arizona, you learn pretty quickly that you live in your house. And then all of a sudden you look around and you're getting bills the following year. And you're like, my bill used to be $800 annually for the last 5-10 years I've lived here. Why is my bill $4,000 now? Why is my property taxes $10,000 now? That's what I'm getting at, ladies and gentlemen. The value of your assets increase, but which assets are you holding? You want assets that go up and those assets bring money in. The best of both worlds. But first, you have to make something happen. All right. Let's see. The Congressional Budget Office reports put out ways for the federal government to save money, and they're talking cosmetic. Yep. Yes. Cuts to Medicare, VA pensions, and many others. We're about to hit panic button. Yes. Yes. Yes and yes. And I can't, I gotta be political every now and then, and it has to happen. Let's just call it what it. Okay, the GOP, just what Victor Morell just said. The GOP wants to commit to them having to be able to vote every year to allow these items, Medicare, pensions. They want to cut those, and your Social Security, by the way. They want to be able to say, okay, every year, which they call entitlements, which they're not, but they're calling them entitlements. They want to cut all of these straight across. They're like, no, we're going to cut these. You put into the Social Security, they don't care. You should have VA and you should have pensions. They don't care. You should have Medicare. They don't care. So again, you need to start paying attention, ladies and gentlemen, because just one small thing could turn into no Social Security, no Medicare, no health care, nothing. And you're going to have to fend for yourself. And in case you haven't had to check out how much medical care costs, if you don't have insurance, you damn sure is not going to be going down getting surgeries. You're not going to be going down. If you got in an accident and you have to go to, well, they're going to take you into emergency, ambulance, 5,000, emergency, another 5,000. Oh, but you stayed overnight, 20,000. Just like that, you have a medical bill of 30, 40 grand. Never mind if you have to go down and get some x-rays done, an MRI. All I'm saying is, ladies and gentlemen, you are sitting here about to get jacked if you don't start paying attention to what's going on out here. And you're going to have to put yourself in a position to make sure. So all this that he's talking about, it gets worse. Do you know teachers' pensions is underfunded? Did you know in California, Illinois, Texas, all these pension funds, they don't have enough money to pay people. And they employ less people to put into the Ponzi scheme. So now where are they going to get the money from if you now have 1,000 people retired, but you only have 250 people working, putting into the fund? Guess what? You have an implosion. So what did the funds do? They gave their money to Wall Street. Here, make us some money. One little problem. Wall Street is on a teeter-totter themselves. So when they start going down, the value of the pension fund goes down and they can't pay their pensioners. You guys, this is already happening. All it takes is one bad storm. And this is why the stock market economy isn't our economy, but they damn sure got their hands on a lot of pies. And if the stock market implodes, a lot of things go bye-bye. And it's the ordinary citizens who are going to be on the hook for all this stuff. Mo Better is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream with the icon next to his name. He says, what's up, SSN Nation? We in the building. We in the building is true, Mo Better. Very nice to see you once again. And Ariam Kale. What's going on, Eric? What's going on with you, Ariam Kale? Very nice to see you once again in the house. And welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And Jawway J, once again in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he says, hello, SSN Nation. Hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone's doing well. Hope you and your family's doing well. And by the way, since today is Monday, I didn't mention it earlier, but hopefully all the mothers had wonderful Mother's Day. So hopefully it all went well. Georges Charles says, yeah, it's hard to make a living off your job. Exactly, Georges Charles. It's just a matter of time. So here's what's happening. Speaking of a job, think of it this way, ladies and gentlemen. If you made $50,000 a year 20 years ago, you were doing great. But fast forward 20 years later, if you're making $55,000 a year, it's not going to cut it. And not only is it not going to cut it, you don't know what's going to happen next. You don't know if prices of everything is going to go up another 10 or 15%. You don't know that, but you do know you're not going to get a raise of 10 to 15%. Hell, you're not even going to get a raise of 5%. And if you use the government numbers where there's a 5% increase or inflation rate year over year, but oh, by the way, we're taking out food and we're taking out electrical costs, energy costs. We're not going to include that. So we're going to take those out and then give you fake numbers. So that's what you have to be worried about. They're giving you fake numbers and going. So it's more like this. I'll use sports analogy. So we have 5 guys on the team. They all hit 20 points today, right? But the other 5 guys each only did 10 points. So you are a coach and you go, oh, who cares if their starting 5 is averaging 100 points a game? You know why? Because the team-wise, they're actually averaging a lot lower. So what you do is you take off 3 of the top guys earning who hit 20 points a game. You take the bottom guys and you go, well, we're not going to count these guys. So they only really get 60 points per game, general public. You would look at people going, what are you talking about? All 5 guys average 20. That's 100 points. That's what the government's doing to you when they say, here's the inflation rates, but oh, by the way, we're not going to include these other indexes on this. So just believe us, it's 5%. I mean, what kind of nonsense is this? But people are falling for it every time, except everybody in the SSN Nation. You guys know the game. The gig is up. That's why we know we need to create more wealth. You have to create wealth that brings back money to you. If an asset does not bring back money to you, it's a liability. Stop buying liabilities. Put yourself in position. That's what we had a nice conversation about earlier, about 2 hours ago, Primavera 4. And I can't believe I didn't know that they did a 10% down, 20% during construction, 70% on delivery for their villas. I didn't know nothing about that. How sweet is that, ladies and gentlemen? Is that awesome or what? George's Charles. Yep, it's hard to make a living. Hey, people, that damn rent. James Way is here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream with the icon next to your name. And the rent is too damn high. Exactly. And it's getting higher and higher. So here's how to create wealth, ladies and gentlemen. First off, the one we've been talking about for the last 3 years, real estate. And your mindset is to rent it out. That's how you get passive income. Now, I have people who sat here, like, for instance, Silverman Fox been hitting me up. He goes, hey, man, how come you keep talking about Dominican Republic or overseas real estate, yada, yada? The reason why I talk about that is unless you can find me another place that somebody can buy condos and villas for under $200,000 with no credit check, no qualifying, I will talk about it, but you generally can't get that in America. You can get it if you find 1 million homes and find a seller that's going to go, oh, yes, I'll let you put down 10% and I'll carry the financing. Sure, that can happen, but that's limited. How many people are going to be able to get that deal in the DR, in Mexico, in Philippines, in Thailand? In other places, Costa Rica, people can get into real estate with no credit check, no qualifying, which now means everybody can get in who can afford to pay, who can afford to buy. So that changes the whole game. But what changes the game even more is when you know records. I'm having a little digestion problem today, so forgive me. But records such as the tourist records came out today. If you missed the video that I dropped earlier today, we can talk about it a little bit more tonight. 3 million tourists came to Dominican Republic in the first 4 months. of 2023. That's high demand, ladies and gentlemen. Do you understand demand and income and wealth? It's no more, no less than what happens in America when all of a sudden everybody wants to buy a home and homes go up 20% year over year. Same thing's going to happen. No difference, except you have a choice. You get to win both ways. You get to buy low and you get to rent low, but you buy low and rent low and you still get 15 to 20% on your money. But what about if you buy low and then all of a sudden you get to rent at a higher price than you thought, and now you're getting 25, 30% return on your money? Victor Marrero, holla at people, will you please? Because he's the perfect example of what happens when you buy low at the right time. Like, somebody better tell me right now, if you're able to buy something for $300,000 and somebody tells you you will make $100,000 a year profit, would you do that deal? Everybody on here better say hell yes. That's over 30% return on your money. But don't act all smug, because when he bought it, he didn't know that that may produce that. You could guess it might do, oh yeah, we'll do 10% annually. We'll do 12% annually. But who knew in a matter of 4 or 5 years that you would be doing 30% return on your investment? Who knew that same property would be worth over $1 million? Nobody was thinking that originally, except for him and other investors in the area. They said, oh, this is one hell of a deal at this price point. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have those deals to this day existing, but are you looking for them in the right places? This is a worldwide global economy. That's why you should start thinking worldwide global economy. Do you think the rich people all do business in the United States? Hell no, we don't just do business in the United States. We do business worldwide because there is business worldwide. Don't limit yourself. You have to think worldwide, and you have to put yourself in a position to create wealth. How do you do it, ladies and gentlemen? How do you do it? How do you do it? 3 million by air or exactly. This is the numbers. We're going to look at those numbers in the DR in a second. 55K a year now in Florida. You're living paycheck to paycheck. Heck, rent alone will suck up a third of that. I know folks making around that amount and they're strapped every month. It's sick. Yes, Victor Marrero, actually, it's even worse. Well, Florida's just like everywhere else now. Well, California and Arizona, Idaho, Seattle, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. It's all the same. You can't qualify for a 2-bedroom unit in Florida because a 2-bedroom unit generally is going to cost you $1,500. You have to 30%, 1,500 times 3. That's $4,500. That's almost $50,000 a year, ladies and gentlemen. You're not going to qualify if you have a car payment, if you have credit cards. You don't qualify. And if it's $1,600, $1,800, like in most places, you damn sure don't qualify because you don't make $6,000 per month. So now you understand. He is exactly right. Paycheck to paycheck is what's going on. So just think about that, ladies and gentlemen. $60,000, $70,000 living paycheck to paycheck. Now, then some of you will go, well, I'm going to go get a house. Okay, go get a house like a lot of people did. And now that they can't get insurance, now that their insurance rates, now that their real estate has gone up, they thought they were paying $4,000 a year. Now it's $10,000 a year. So now what? See, you're not going to get away. Not going to get away. The U.S. government has no plan except run up debt. Exactly, Mr. Financial. And force SSN people and veterans to pay the interest on all new debt. Very well said. Who's paying on the new debt? You are, your grandkids are, your children are, and your great-great-great-grandkids will be paying if this doesn't implode first. Who do you think is going to be paying all these quadrillions of dollars of debt? These derivatives that are out here. Who's going to pay all that? Guess who? Nobody. Nobody that's in the top 10% are those of us in the lower 90% that pays into the federal tax system. You're going to be paying it. and your taxes are going up in the form of sales tax, in the form of federal tax, in the form of insurance, in the form of food costs, in the form of energy costs, all that is because of taxation, because you're going to have to collect more if you're a business. You're going to have to pay your employees more. You're going to have to give your money, half of the employees' FICA, the business has to put in to the Social Security fund and their taxes. So keep all of this in mind. It's getting worse and worse. Now, do you understand why you need passive income? Now, do you understand why you need your asset? You need it. There's no way around it. It's going down. Ariam Calais, good news to Las Taranas investors. They're adding more flights to Las Taranas. Yes, they are. At Samana is what he's referring to. This is very true. And oh, by the way, if the building in Las Taranas, if you can get a deal, in fact, here's the funny thing about Las Taranas with real estate. They've increased prices at a faster rate in Las Taranas than they have in Punta Cana. It's incredible. They have new projects coming out in that area. Now, they don't have the amount of tourists that they have in Punta Cana, but they are making plans in that area, ladies and gentlemen. So if you can find yourself one hell of a deal over there, which are getting harder and harder to find, it would be a good spot. In fact, all of Dominican Republic is going to be a good spot. Let's call it what it is. All right, let's see. Curtis Davis, real estate is valuable. DR, Canada, China, exactly. All of that, Mr. Financial. Victor, facts, 55K. You will fall behind without passive income or assets. Exactly. There's nothing you can do. Nothing anybody can do out here unless you make plans. You can't just stay pat. This is not the baby boomer cycle anymore. This is not after 1945, the war, and you got a 30, 40-year run up where they had plenty of jobs, plenty of money, get paid pensions. Everything was perfect. But greed got in the way. The top figures said, nah, we don't need to pay out that much. We don't need to make sure the pensions are taken care of. We'll just hire more people. They'll pay for it. We don't need to set any money aside. But then you had corporate raiders. You want to sell your company? It has a pension fund. Oh, hell yeah. We're going to buy your company. We're going to overpay for your company. Why? Because we're going to take your pension money. Anybody heard of Sears? Go read about it. All right. Car companies that went out of business, go read about it. So if you think you're going to rely on business to save your ass, you better think again. All right. Back in the day, 2004, you bought house 1 at 200K, gain equity, transfer equity to house 2 to buy 400K. Yes. Real estate is best wealth creation if you take equity to buy assets. I agree. Stocks, art, biz, or Airbnb. Exactly. Those all work. But he hit it exactly on the head, except what's going to happen now? That playbook, which was so easy for everybody to do, will no longer be easy for everybody to do. Why? If home prices on average cost 5, 6, 700,000, your acquisition is limited to everybody that makes 6 figures. There's not that many people that make 6 figures. I mean, I'm not saying like there's only 100,000. There are millions of people that make 6 figures. But there's also 200 million people that don't make 6 figures. So that's the situation. You're not going to be able to buy house 1 because house 1 is going to cost you $700,000 potentially. And you're not going to be able to flip it because your house went up to 1 million, because if you sell that house, all homes are costing 1 million in the same neighborhood. So once again, you're locked. That's why you need to buy low while you can, and then you have options. Whether you live there or whether you rent it out later, you have money coming in, and that pays for your next place that you're going to live. All right, so hopefully that helps out right there. House too damn expensive here. Cost of one house, buy 4 homes in the DR. Exactly, Georges Charles, South Florida. Hey, what can we say, ladies and gentlemen? Sooner or later, people wake up. Unfortunately, people who used to live in South Florida, the homes were cheap. In the 80s, nobody even wanted to live in Miami area. Stuff was cheap as hell. Now, all of a sudden, people who have 1,300, 1,400 square foot homes, their homes are worth $1 million. Crazy. Just a few blocks from the beach where they naturally thought their grandparents lived, and now they live there, and it's always been their family home and nothing special. And well, now it's $1 million, $800,000. And if you sell it, where can you move to? That's the question. It's a damn shame. Facts. 6 figures income with no consumer debt is powerful. Exactly. That's exactly where you want to be at, ladies and gentlemen. Uh-oh. Yeah, exactly where you want to be at. So this is one of those things, and I got something that I had to do today, and I forgot about it. But it's okay. It's all right. So we'll see how it goes. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think. And I'm about to go show this. Let me see. Do I have it here somewhere? Dominican Republic? No, I don't have it on the screen. It's okay. Oh, yes, I do have it. Hold on a second. Let's go look at this real quick. Because again, there's people that do not understand what's happening in the Dominican Republic. And I have to keep saying it. It's still a secret even after all these years. Why? Because it's so many projects being built all over the island. So there's plenty of available units right now until one day there's not, right? And that's when prices start escalating. They've already escalated, quite frankly. So keep that in mind. But here it is. Look at this. Look at this number here. 3.8 million visitors in the first 4 months. Ladies and gentlemen, let me explain something to you. When you understand numbers, then you have to get excited. Do you not realize that all total, that's almost 1 million visitors a month? All right. Now, I have to say something. Because of the Ukrainian and Russia war situation, that has eliminated roughly 20 to 50,000 more people per month. So now you understand that in a normal environment, they would have been at 4 million. Just keep this in mind. All right? Just keep this in mind. So what do you think is going to happen when everything turns to peace again? That means these numbers are just going to be higher just off of that. But that's not why the numbers are going to be higher. But think of this. We're going to delve into what the real number is, because I don't like if they included the cruise ships or if it's just air. So we have to break this down, because oftentimes they include the cruise ships. All right. Just like he starts off here, April, 862,705 visitors for everybody on podcasts arrived in the Dominican Republic by air and sea. So this includes both. What happens when we take away the sea? Monthly, Carlito announced that last April, 681,567 tourists arrived by air. Ladies and gentlemen, did you hear this? 681,000 tourists arrived by air. Is anybody paying attention yet? I have something else to report. In the first 3 months, 67% of all tourists went through the Punta Cana International Airport. I'm not saying that it's going to stay at 67%. What I am saying is, why don't we just go down to 60%? All right, because they didn't break down the numbers right now. But 681,567 times 60%, that's 408,000, ladies and gentlemen, almost 409,000. That's 100,000 per week. Again, these are records, and they don't even have anything built yet. There's no Atlantida. There's no Vista Cana finished. There's no Cruise on Land finished. Kathmandu Park is not finished. Downtown is not even created yet. Larimar hasn't shown up yet. Cap Cana and its condos and villas right by the marina haven't showed up yet. Imagine what's going to happen when just in those projects and Cana Rock, if they do what they're supposed to do, imagine just in those complexes, you're going to have another 20,000 units available, which now means not only are owners coming to the island, but their friends and families going to be coming to visit them. Think about that. It may not be their friends and family come every year, but if you have an enclave of 1 million people, and out of 1 million people, you have like a quarter of that visiting annually just because they're friends, family, acquaintances, not because they're visiting Dominican Republic, but just because they're friends, family, and acquaintances. Now you start seeing an ecosystem where you can add on, you really can add on another 250,000 people annually that's coming there to visit and need a place to stay. And they're going to do business with you if you have business there. So just keep these type of things in your head, because I have news for you, ladies and gentlemen. Next year, they're going to break the record next year too. So 3.8 will be 4.5. All right. Just so you guys get a clue, it's going to be somewhere between 4 and 4.5 in the first 3 months. That's what it's going to be. First 4 months. That'll put us on target for the 8 to 8.5 million. And I'm actually going to revise up a little bit. It should be 8.5 to 9. And again, like I said, 2025, we should be at 9 million annually to come to the DR. By 2026, we're going to be 9.5 to 10 mil. All of us sitting here right now, your projects will be completed. You will be able to rent. You will have, in the Punta Cana region alone, you're going to have over 750 to 800,000 people potentially coming through every month for the first 3 months, 4 months. After that, it'll taper off. But imagine this. Imagine instead of 400,000 going through Punta Cana, it's 600,000. That's what we're going to have in 3 years. All right. You guys get a clue. Wake up. Where do you want to create wealth? Where there's high demand without you even having to work for it. If everybody said buy something in 1985 in Miami, and if they said in 5 years, your property value will double or triple, you would have laughed and said, yeah, get out of here. Of course you would, because nobody was moving that fast down there. But in the case of the DR, they're on purpose bringing in tourism. They're not just doing this, okay, we're building houses. This is a nice place to live. Why don't you come down here for the weather, yada, yada. They're saying, no, we're bringing entertainment. We're actually trying to bring in movie theaters or movie studios. We're trying to bring in big time businesses so people will come and want to stay here, and bring in businesses and start where people are going to use this as a business hub. They have a plan. And unlike other Caribbean nations, I don't know why they don't have a plan, but they have a plan. So we will see, ladies and gentlemen. Prices are escalating, but Eric is placing you in position. Low payments on real estate in the DR. This area exploding in value. Exactly. And just what Jakira said when she told, remember, you guys knew about Primavera too. You knew about it when it was 100,000 for type C, and it's now 178 for type C, which is still a bargain. Over in Primavera 4, still a bargain. 178,000 for a 1,500 square foot villa, still a bargain. But 2 years from now, it won't be 178. It's going to be probably closer to 300. But like he says, you can get in now with low payments, no barriers to entry. What can I tell you? We're in the right place at the right time. There will be people 5 years from now wishing they had an opportunity to invest at these prices. Exactly, Mo Better. Exactly. 5 years from now, things are going to be, it's way out there. Way out there for everybody. Whether you have villas or condos, people are going to go, wait a minute. What do you mean you bought this for $125,000? You want like 700,000. You want 600,000. You want 500,000. Why? Because in 5 years, they're not done. They'll just be on phase 3 for the downtown development plan. That's how crazy this is. So think about that. They'll be in phase 2 or 3 at a lot of these projects right now. It's crazy. Bringing in more people. And then once people get the ecosystems, once they actually add all the restaurants, once they get other stores in place, other businesses in place, where now people are like, I don't even have to leave because I can get whatever I need here. The supermarket's up the street, not, 2 or 3 kilometers away. That's what's going to happen here. The ecosystem changes. The supermarkets get closer because you have more people in the dense area. The hospitals, the medical cares get a little closer. You open up medical centers like the urgent cares and things like this. You don't have to go to the hospital, but right up the street is this physician's location. Here's the pharmacy right up the street. You don't have to hardly go anywhere. That is what's going to happen. And oh, by the way, what was announced? It was announced already. So I'm going to let you guys know. Larimar. I gave you guys something the other day about buying groceries, a little hint like 2 Fridays ago when I was giving you hints. And yes, they finally said something. Supermarket is at Larimar. So therefore, you don't have to go anywhere for your shopping for groceries. So just letting you guys know that was finally said. So now I can actually say it. I was giving you hints about it, but it's official. So once again, this is what's going to happen. So you guys can be in the right place at the right time and not do anything and do what I did. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Victor Morel bought at Margaritaville. A friend of mine lives in Orlando. I knew about Margaritaville. I knew it was 250,000, but I was like, I don't care about that because I don't really, I have this bias towards Orlando, right? It's a cool place, but I was like, well, Margaritaville, I'm like, I don't know. Well, now look, 4 or 5 years later, 5 years later, the guy's like, Victor Morel comes here and he says, I make these like 5 figures in profit a month from his $300,000 investment, including the furniture package. Ladies and gentlemen, 30-some% return on your money is insane. He's got 6 figures coming in profit-wise from an investment he made like 5 years ago. This is crazy. Maybe even 6 years ago. So at the time, people said, oh, yeah, okay, so you make your extra 20,000, 30,000, 10, 15, 12% annually. Great. But little did they know 4 or 5 years later, it ain't no little chump change. All right. So these are the type of moves you can make again right now. All right. So keep that in mind. And 5 years, what Mo Better's saying, exactly right. He's exactly right. You're going to wish you would have been in. And especially for these peanuts, when they say 10% down, 12, come on. And then pay us over 2 years. And then, in fact, the case of Sabana is even crazier. Give us 10% down and we'll do owner financing for the condos at Sabana inside Vista Kana. That's even crazier. You want about information on any of these I'm mentioning, they're down below in the description. Go contact the realtors. Let them know you came from SSN Nation. You want to create wealth? There's simple ways you can do it, or you can do it the old-fashioned way. Earn it by creating a business, taking a high risk, and then putting in the hard work because that's what it's going to take. Or you can set yourself up into dividend stocks, into real estate, into any other business, buy a business that's generating revenue and go an easier route. That would be preferred, right? At least that's preferred for me. That's all I can say. I don't know about all this other things. This hand-to-hand combat is very, very hard. It is. It's very hard out here trying to start a business, sell a product, market it. Yes, even with all the social media, it's still very hard. Very hard. Or you can pay an influencer and they'll promote it for you. I mean, that's an option, but then they're generally not cheap. So Once again, these are the things you got to think about. Here's how to create wealth the simple way. You need to think about real estate right now. You can buy real estate in America. I'm not going to be mad at you because, once again, this is not the time. Wait till after July, in August, all right? After August, somewhere in there. So November, December, somewhere in there. Now, once I get that out the way, because when the Federal Reserve reduces the interest rate, I've said this already, that is a sign for the real estate market in America. It's a green light. People are going to start buying. And then the whole crescendo starts because they're going to reduce the interest rate the following month. And then they're going to reduce it like 2 months later. And it's going to be a crescendo. Then people are going to go, oh man, it reduced 0.75. It reduced 1 percentage point. It's down to 4.8. People are going to start buying because their fear is missing out. Their fear is they're watching prices skyrocket and they now know we're not going to be able to buy later. Right? You see a $400,000 house now, and then now it's $450 a month later, and then it's $500, then it's $550. All of a sudden, you're like, holy smoke, I better get in now if I can, because if this thing goes up to $650, $750, I won't qualify. That's where we're going to be at, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to be in the $650, $750 range because you're going to need over $250,000 showing in your household. You don't want to be in that category unless you're really in that category. But if you can avoid it, you don't want to be in that category. You want to be able to buy low so then you always have equity that you can tap into. That's what you want to do. This is how you have to set up your wealth track right now. Whether it's your business you're going to borrow against, whether it's your stocks you're going to borrow against, but whatever you do, use assets that go up in value and borrow against that, and you buy something that's going to pay that loan back. It's that simple. By the way, everybody that bought into the Boogie Gopher Club Cash Flow NFT, again, they had another update. I'll be dropping the update tomorrow, part 1 of 2. And if I can drop both tomorrow, I will. They have a replay on their website, Boogie Gopher. You can go see it there. Or I'm letting you know I'm dropping it tomorrow anyhow. I just made a copy because I don't know if they're ever going to change their website, maybe not have it. So I always make sure I have some updates from them. But Benelux NFT, 1.1 billion. The value is around, again, in the 700,000s, I think it was. But this is all pro forma. This is all based on if the company does this, that, and the other. They haven't done it yet. But the evaluation, if they're actually able to do what they said they can do, is going to be around 800,000 right now. A little under 800,000 in the 700,000s, 1.1 billion. So congratulations. If they're able to do what they say they can do, well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. The Germany NFT is 3.8. UK NFT is 3.1 billions with the B. The Benelux is 1.1. So right now, that would be like 9 billion for just those 3 countries. Then they're going to have France. Then they're going to have the Netherlands, right? Then they're going to have Cyprus, I'm assuming. I don't know if that actually counts, but maybe they will. Spain hasn't come out yet. So just off of those, these numbers are predictable. And like I said, I'm telling you, if they're able to pull off what they can pull off, then their overall value of their company is going to be approaching $1 trillion. Okay? If they're able to pull off everything. So these are all separate. So that just gives you an idea, which is possibly doable. So when you start bringing in, let's just say Spain might do 3 billion. Let's just say the evaluation comes for France for 2.5. Now you're at 14, 15 billion. Then you have Netherlands, another billion or two. So with all their NFTs right now and the areas, they could approach 20 billion on an evaluation. But that would indicate that we're making $200 million profits. All right. So just gives you an idea. So hopefully that helps out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to be on too long tonight. Why? Because we already did 2 hours and an earlier broadcast on Primavera 4. in the Dominican Republic, Punta Cana. These are villas. And yes, in Primavera 3, there's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath villa for $68,000 with a pool. Go figure. You heard me correctly. $68,000, but it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath villa. A 2-bedroom, 2-bath villa is $115,000 in Primavera 3. So take your pick. It has a yard, right? $115,000. Not bad. That's pretty great, actually, because you can't even get 2-bedroom condos for this anymore. That's what's kind of crazy. All right. So hopefully, here's how to create wealth. You've already known about it. There's no new secrets. It either has to be something to do with business, finance, now crypto markets, which we'll see because still it's the jury's out. Hardly any crypto projects have ever succeeded in the long term. But here's a company, Miracle Cash and More, that's trying. We'll see if it all pans out. And if it all pans out, all the NFT holders from the Ring of Fire, congratulations, because if these numbers escalate, or even if the numbers stay the same, even if they stayed at the $700,000 or the $800,000 number, that means that you can borrow against that. So people may or may not understand, because we don't have a borrow clause or anything, but just think of it this way. If you have an NFT and it's worth $800,000 and they allow you to borrow against your NFT for the value of the $800,000, and you can take out $200,000, and then they're paying you in commission, and you're able to pay them back from the commission. That means that loan is free money. That's the position that you want to put yourself into. You have passive income coming in, it's paying back your loan. You took the $200,000 and then you went out and bought another asset that pays you monthly. That's the ecosystem that you want to create. All right, it's that simple. So if that happens and this occurs, then we're going to have a lot to talk about, because now we have some people, for instance, that have 10% of an NFT. Some people have 5% of an NFT. Some people have, well, you can only have 5% is the cheapest, 5%, 10%, right? So now you start valuing something at 800,000, and that means 10% is 80,000. So picture that somebody says, well, I want to take out 40,000. If we work something out, 40,000 loan, then the money that comes back that they pay monthly goes back in, and that's how you pay it back. But you got your 40,000 and it's automatically paid back. That's an ecosystem I love. And that's what is going to put us in a whole different bracket. Now, imagine at the end of the day, these guys wake up one day and all of a sudden find out that their program is worth $200 million, like they said, and the NFT holders, that's worth $5 million. Now that would be crazy. And think of 10%, right? $500,000 for $1,000 investment. That would be awesome. So we got a lot to talk about. Yes. Did you say 68K? That's the deal. Yes, Mo Better. Primavera 3, 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 68K villa. What's the square meters? That's the thing on the 68,000 property. It was like 200. Oh, you mean square meters inside? Unfortunately, I don't know. Well, actually, I shouldn't say I don't know, because I can look it up. Let me see if oh wait, I need an old, I'll tell you, because it's still the same format. I'm gonna look this up real quick. I don't think they show the unit sizes. Oh wait, wait, they do. Hold on a second. You did ask. Let me see. 2-bedroom, 2 baths. Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. I'm at Primavera Luxury. Their units aren't that small. So we got to go to Primavera 3. I'll be able to pull it up. Let me go to, actually, it's Primavera 2. Let me see if I still have Primavera 2 info. And if I have any prices, because I'll be able to show. In fact, it won't even matter. I just need to know if they show their unit types. Right? Here we go. 2-bedroom, 1 bath. 100 square meters. That's 1,000 square feet. All right. So I'll break this out. Let's go do it this way. Because I'm going to go with the same. This is the same floor plan, just like in Primavera 2. In fact, you know what? This is even better because I'm going to show you what no, because I can show you what this looks like. I'm going to show you what their old brochure looked like. That's what makes this very funny. This is their old brochure in Primavera 2, right? And this is why this is funny, because this is a rendering. And if you looked at this, you wouldn't think anything special, right? Look, this is all it said. Casa Club with pool. Okay. Sports area. Kids area, gazebo, barbecue. That's all it says. Then it shows the houses. Here is the $68,000 2-bedroom, 1-bath unit. This is it right here. 2 baths, patio, 100 square meters, 1,000 square feet. Now they don't. Oh, they do have the floor plan. There you go. One bedroom in the master bath. Then, of course, everybody shares the other bath. This is it. Pretty simple. Come right into the kitchen. Come right into the living room area. Pretty simple. 1,000 square feet. Now, here is the 3-bedroom, 2-bath. This one, I think this one is $115,000 now over at Primavera 3. So again, this is 1,200 square feet if it's actually 1,200 square meters, which is not bad for $115,000 inside these Primaveras. Once again, master has a bathroom. The other 2 bedrooms and the living room share a bath. There is no half bath in the living room, dining room areas. So everybody's got to go to that 1 bath. Okay, fair enough. Nothing crazy. This one shows a jacuzzi. So that's pretty interesting. So there you go. Let's see here. We'll keep going down because this was the next one. Type C is what they're calling this now. This is the one that's 1,509 square feet that everybody, this is the number 1 unit right here. Now, very important. This does not include AC. This does not include your white line appliances. So the fridge, the stove, and all that's not included. So keep that in mind. So you're going to have to spend the extra $10,000, $15,000 on appliances and lighting and anything special. So they're building you like a shell. That's why these things are inexpensive. The AC unit, they plumb it in, but you're going to have to go buy the wall AC unit that you're going to have to put on. So just remember that. All right. But once again, this is 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. So on this one, they actually put a half bath downstairs, which makes it nice. And then upstairs, they have 3 bedrooms. But 1 bedroom has its full bath. The other 2 have to share a bath. This is why type U, which, well, it's going to cost you $250,000, but the type U has 3 bedrooms that all have its own bathroom, and they still have a half bath, just for starters. All right. So notice, I want to show you. Notice, here's what they show. Social areas, pool. There's supposed to be a game room and a fitness room here. That's one pool. Basketball court supposed to be behind it. Okay, that's what you see. Fitness right here. Game room right here. All right. But in reality, what did they do? This right here was 30% was their original deal. So this which makes this very, very interesting. In reality, what happened? Well, that's the beauty of it. You know what they did? The reality of the situation is, even though they didn't show it in their brochure, they actually have 3 pools out there. Not just the one that they showed you in the brochure, not the one with the kids. They actually have 3 pools scattered throughout the complex at Primavera 2. They have a basketball court not next to this little game room, fitness room area. It's out in the complex. I don't know if they're ever going to add that look right there, but all I'm saying is, so don't worry so much about what they show on their brochures. They have a tradition where they add extra amenities within their complex. Just keep that in mind if you're dealing with them, and make sure you guys contact, if you're going to mess around with Primavera 4, here, I'll just put the number, or 3 or luxury or 2. These are the guys you call. Now, Jaway J went out there and checked out Primavera. One of his gripes was the fixtures were cheap. Well, one of the gripes turns into maybe not a gripe, because at the price you're paying, you're going to get cheap fixtures. If you want luxury, well, you got to go someplace else. You got to go inside Vistacana and pay almost double for the same price, or for the same square meters. You got to go to Vistacana. You want to buy a villa, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath villa in Vistacana right now? Well, it's not going to be 100,000. It's not going to be 200,000. It's going to be in the 300,000. Just so you guys know. All right, just giving you an idea. So that's how it works. You have to buy when the deals are good. That's when you make your moves. So if you're interested in any of the Primaveras, contact Jaquiris and Jeremiah. Contact them. Let them know you came from the SSN Nation. All right? Let them know. Talk to them. So hopefully that helps out everybody. We're going to wrap this up early tonight because, again, we've been talking about creating wealth from the time I started this. I just talked about it in different ways. When we were talking about credit, that was to get your credit right, to make sure that puts you in position to where you have the credit in the right situation, so then you can go out here and buy assets, not liabilities. Then we talked businesses, how to start a business, how to do holding companies and things like this, so you can create that atmosphere. Why you should have Opus virtual office versus working out of your home. Separate your office. Get an Opus virtual office. The link is down below. Why? 800. They answer your phone. A live person answers the phone in your company name. For starters, they give you the business phone number. They give you the business fax number. They collect your mail. They'll send you any emails. When the person answers the phone, they can send it to voicemail, so it's voice to text, or they can just forward it directly to whatever number you are at, and you can answer the phone. All included. They also report to the Business Credit Bureau. All included for $99 per month. But if you want to get your administration fee waived, then you use the link down below and put in the promo code YG1. Y is in you, G is in George, the number 1. YG1 is the promo code to get your admin fee waived. You want free Bitcoin, to mine free Bitcoin using your software? Then I have it down below. Earn free Bitcoin down below. You want to be able to collect crypto? That's right. ericbird.crypto. That means it's unstoppable domains. They do up to almost 300 different cryptos that you can just simply give people your name.crypto if you're able to get it. Your business name.crypto, stopstrugglingnow.crypto. Yes, I have that too. So if I told somebody to send me crypto, all I have to do is go, okay, send it to stopstrugglingnow.crypto. I don't have to give them the alphanumeric character. And it comes into my account and it's distributed into the wallet. You just had to set it up inside Unstoppable Domains. It's that simple. Win-win for everybody. All right. So think about these things where you control that money that comes in and the asset. Think about how many times people have gotten Stripe, PayPal. They have money coming in. They start doing business. They have 1,000, 1,500 coming in, 2,000, 5,000. And the next thing you know, after a month goes by, 2 months go by, all of a sudden they're going, hey, we're going to lock up these funds. And you're like, what do you mean? Oh, we want to reserve because we don't believe you're making this amount of money. When do I get it back? Oh, that'll be 6 months. Excuse me? What are you talking about? There's nobody complaining that they're being abused or ripped off or anything like this. So just because I went from 500 to 1,000 a month and made it 10,000 a month now, all of a sudden you're going to hold funds? What kind of nonsense is this? They can do it, ladies and gentlemen. Why put yourself in that position? Same way when you're processing credit cards, your merchant account. One day you're making $3,000 a week. Next thing you know, it's $10,000 a week. Next thing you know, they're going, oh, hold up here. We're going to freeze up some of these transactions here. We're not going to transfer the money to you. You're like, wait, I just made $30,000 in the last week. What do you mean? I need that to buy and pay employees. That's part of my profits. What are you doing? They don't care. So just put yourself in position, because that is going down even worse than ever now. Because the only way you can escape is if you have your money. If you don't have your money, you can't escape. You can't create more wealth. How do you stop somebody? You do stuff like this, what I just described. All right. Think about it. This is happening already. It's just not happening to enough people, so you don't know about it. Great content on DR Real Estate and U.S. economics. Thank you so much, Mr. Financial. And oh, by the way, Chili Davis just said that. Chili Davis has his own channel, also known as Mr. Financial in these parts. We need him to get to 1,000 subscribers, so please go over to Chili Davis's channel and subscribe. Click the all notification bell. Why? Because he gives out financial news and information updates throughout the day. So make sure you lock in with him as well. He's part of the SSN Nation family. Show some love, please. All right. Chili Davis with 2 L's, CHILLY Davis for everybody on podcast. All right. Go find him. There we go. But there it is, ladies and gentlemen. You have opportunity still. $68,000 for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath villa. You know, that's almost tempting. Is it not? That's pretty tempting, if you ask me. If you really think about it, $115,000 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath villa, that's kind of tempting as well. Because where else are you going to be able to have a man-made beach and things like this? There's just opportunities can knock if they allow you to be in Primavera 3 and luxury, and you're able to go use Primavera 4. Again, before there was developers said you can go to all 3. So that's why I said all 3. Now they have changed their mind. They started realizing, wait a minute, we can't have people in Primavera 4 paying. But in reality, everybody could pay their HOAs. So what I'm saying is, if they make it one blank number, they could say, okay, it's going to cost us $5 million annually to run this beach. We're going to share it amongst the thousands of lots we have. So everybody's going to pay their percentage. And so then that would allow everybody to use it and nobody's taking advantage of it. Or they're going to do the unthinkable that I never like. They're going to do this membership thing. I hope they don't in reality. I just wish they would just go, everybody's got an HOA fee and you got to pay $125 or whatever based on your size of your unit or however you want to do it, and call it a day. Not do pay HOAs and then we got a membership fee. We don't want that, right? No. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap this up early tonight. Make sure you smash that like button. And if you like what we've been talking about tonight, please subscribe to the channel. Click the all notification bell. Also, make sure you join us on Wednesday night. Now, remember, on Wednesday night, only members with the icon can be in the chat room. So what happens? You're just going to have to watch or become a member of the channel, like the new member, Walt Lewis. And then you could be in the chat room on Wednesday night. You can also join me on any live stream. Members with the icon can, and discuss anything you want to discuss. So once again, please join us 8:50 p.m. Wednesday night. I know the Heat will be on Wednesday night as well, but that's okay. Just like tonight, shouldn't it be LA and Denver? Maybe or maybe not. I don't know if they're on, but we will find out after I get off here. But once again, I want to thank everybody for being here, and I love you guys, and I appreciate your support. I appreciate everything because that's what keeps me going on here. Otherwise, I would just be like, bye-bye. Just as I came, I would leave quietly. But I'm very happy you're here, very happy you're paying attention, because there are a lot of people whose lives are going to be changed over the next 2 or 3 years who have made the move, made their investments, put their money where their mouth is, and now we're waiting to make sure and see how everything turns out. Because this could turn out to be life changers all over the place. And if you're interested in real estate in the DR, please look down below in the description. If you want to get your Opus virtual office, use the link down below in the description. All right. They're easy things that you can do here to improve your life over the next 3-4 years. And 3 and 4 years goes by just like that. Because nobody gets to just chill anymore, hardly. You got to do something. Time flies. All right. Well, I didn't even run any infomercial today, right? So what am I going to do? I'm going to run a little promo, SSN Lifestyle. Let me see where we're going to go to now. We'll go here.
Come on, come on.
Right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we're going to wrap this up, like I said. And once again, I love you. I appreciate your support. Everybody with the members, that's extra support because that's financial. Subscribers, I appreciate it. Make sure you double click on that notification bell because they give out less than 10% of people received a notification. That's right. Not that many people out of all the subscribers. It's under 2,000, by the way. So that gives you an idea for every video I upload. And even some of those get less than that. Under 500 people receive notifications. It's crazy out here in the YouTube streets, but we don't stop because we change lives. So come along for the ride, ladies and gentlemen. And with all that said, keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.